Okay, people. So I checked out I Am Tigress, right? Yeah, this was an interesting, it was definitely an interesting one, right? Because I think it's not quite what they said it was at the program launch, right? But it was still, I mean, like, I just think the what you had was still crazy interesting. But yeah, it was kind of sold as something a little bit different, which was an odd one, right? So it is directed by Philipp Fussenegger and Dino Osmanović. Um, it's produced by Fussenegger and Michael Stenwand. Music is from Mario Batkovic. Cinematography is Osmanovic. And it is edited by Judy Landkammer. So the film stars Tischa the Tigress Thomas, also her trainer, Edward Zala. Um, her daughter is in there, Jasmine Acevedo, and her kids, Luciano, Farah, and Indigo. And then there's Steve Skibelli. Okay, so the gist of the film is this, right? It follows Tischa the Tigress Thomas as she competes with the sole goal to place a number one in the world as a female bodybuilder. With 17-inch biceps and back muscles to make any man jealous, Tisha's life is defined by training and working as a dominatrix to support herself financially. Her only real connection is with her roommate, Eddie, who attends all of Tisha's competitions as her support team. When she loses her shot at the title and her dream is shattered, can Tisha discover the life waiting for her off the stage? But even that isn't quite it, right? It's really odd with the synopsises because I think a lot of the time that they write a thing which they don't need to write, right? The film itself is, you know, encapsulating. So why try and write something that doesn't really do it justice? That's the weird thing. So this one, it follows Tisha, right? And she's entering all of these competitions, but it's not working out. Now, we see the frustration, right? She's trained so hard. She's in the gym. She's doing all this stuff, but she's not, getting those positions she wants. She's not, winning. That's the goal, to be number one. So there's all of this going on. And a few times in the film, we hear it go, man, if this next thing doesn't work, I'm gonna have to look and see what I can transition to. Right? I've got to make another move. So you can see the stress and the anxiety. And yeah, she then goes to compete in Romania. And a big chunk of the film is that, right? The training for Romania, going there, that whole experience, right? Now, there's a few things that we don't find out, right? So I kind of, it would have been interesting to know why she's not winning these competitions, right? So where does she feel she's falling down? Now there's one where she's like, "Oh yeah, that one I just didn't come in correctly. I wasn't in the shape I could have been." Fair, but what are the things? Because I think Eddie, he used to be a bodybuilder, and so he talks about, his last competition, and he's like, "Oh, I could have won, but my legs were trash." Right? So I think, and when you hear bodybuilders talk, like they know, right, what they're falling down on for the most part, right? Or the weakness of their game, like what potentially the judges are looking for. But we didn't really get that insight. So we don't really know. Okay, so because anyone can be like, I should have won that. But should you? You know what I mean? So it would have been interesting to get that breakdown, to get that kind of, what I mean, just critical look at, okay, so what are the things which are holding me back? Now, I will say, right, because we learned Tischa is 47. So to be in their shape, she's in at 40. So, jeez, you know what I mean? This is friggin' phenomenal, right? To be in that shape at 47, right? No real fat on the body is just like, yo, okay. I think most people would be like, yeah, I'll take that. You know what I mean? I'll take that. So we have all of this. Now, because yeah, there's a thing she's like, my stomach, that's a little bit hard to get where I want it to be. Um, yeah, again, you kind of be like, I don't know, does it look bad? Right? Because we don't know. We're not the judges. So it's like, what are the judges looking for here? So it's all of this. Now, we do see hitting a little juicy juice, right? Even Eddie hits some juice, and it's a bit like, why are you juicing, son? You ain't training, right? That was an odd one, but yeah, we get all of this look, all of this insight. She shoots a lot of videos, so like she's a dominatrix, which we find out, like we don't hit that until I'd say midway through the film. Now it's in the synopsis, so it's not a shock there, but we get that. But it looks like she records a lot of videos for YouTube as well, a lot of motivational stuff and all of this. I have a feeling it looks like she might do whether it's OnlyFans or something similar, because she's shooting these other videos. Um, so yeah, but that seems to be probably where the money's coming from, right? Which, you know what I mean? Make that money, man. Make that money, So, but it's just this whole look into it. It didn't seem like she was overly, like, it wasn't sad about making the videos, not overly happy about making the videos. So when she's talking about what she wants to transition into, we don't really get any insight into that either. And I think that would have been, fascinating. Find out, okay, so where do you go from here? Right? Because that's the weird thing about this synopsis on YouTube, because it's just like, oh, is she ready for what's for off the stage? And it's like, but we never really touch on that. Like she mentions it, but never to the extent of, okay, so I'm gonna become this, right? This is my next move. No, we don't find that out. So that's a bit like, okay. It's a bit, yeah, it's a weird one. But I think it would have been really interesting to do that. Like we do see these different sides, these different sides of Tischa, right? So her training, we see her angry, right? We see her angry, or although she'd be like, "I'm not angry. I'm just telling you about yourself," right? We then see her with her family, and that seemed a very different Tisha, right? That's when she seemed really happy, when she's with her daughter and her daughter's kids, you know? Um, and you also then saw the shit she puts up with on the street, which is just crazy. But the crazy thing about it is, right, you have these guys shouting at her, be like, "You're a man. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah." But it's just like, she's probably bigger than them, right? So it's just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? I mean, she could maybe fuck you up. I mean, hey, it's not with the UFC. We have definitely seen it's not always size, right? It's not always size. It's skill and technique too. But still, you know what I mean? It's just like, yo, you need to watch what you're saying, man. You need to watch what it's crazy, but god damn, it's gotta be rough. Because like she says at one point, this is why I don't like leaving my house. And that's not a good thing, you know? Definitely not a good thing. I think one thing that she won't be transitioning into, and that's a singer. We do get a little karaoke in the film, and yeah, yeah, yo, Disha, she may be tough, but she definitely is not a singer. She's definitely not that, people. Oh my days. But yeah, no, it's an interesting it's an interesting look at the life of a bodybuilder and all that goes into it, you know? It is definitely that. So people, you know, if yeah, if you're curious, you know what I mean? If you're curious and you think to yourself, hey, what could I check out? Then I think maybe I Am Tigress could be for you, because yeah, like it's it's this weird transformation that you know what I mean, like you would put your body through, you know, um, to kind of get to this point, right? It's this craziness that you have to do to yourself, this dedication. And what does that take, right? What is that dedication to get to that place? So the odd thing though, as I mentioned about this, because you know, the way it was spoken about was that she found acceptance in the trans community of bodybuilders, right? And man, there was that trans bodybuilding film that we looked at a couple of years. I feel it was a couple, 2 or 3 years back, people. I forget the name of it now, but that was a very interesting one. But that's not what we see. We don't see any of that, right? So it did seem an odd one to, you know, mention and talk about, because yeah, we don't, like, we have, you know, these people on the street, right, making the comments, but we don't see this community accepting her or trans body or any of that. So yeah, I don't know. It's an odd one. But people, if you didn't get to see it today, right? You can you catch it. It's playing Saturday in NFT free at 3:50. Or on the final day, Sunday the 27th, it is playing in the studio. Studios are a great, NFT's a great little screen too, man. But yeah, it's playing in the studio on Sunday at 12:50. So yeah, um two more occasions to see it. And it's, iPlayer, not I always say the BFI player. So yes, um, they're your other opportunities to see I Am Tigress, people. So if you're a fan of bodybuilding, you know, and these journeys of self discovery, then it may very well be what you're looking for.